So trash talk. I mean, Brato, you were a bit pumped up about this round. You were what was it? What you were gonna trash talk this round?
I'm gonna trash talk bar. All right.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Oh,
We talked
I
about
don't
VAR in the
I
first
don't like
episode, and VAR
to
is back.
look, I don't like to beat a dead horse at this
Oh
point,
boy.
but I feel like I have to. I think there's just been great injustice done to Bournemouth
Yeah.
because of VAR decision. Sheffield United, Aston Villa, that ball clearly went over the line.
Oh yeah.
VAR could have reviewed that decision, and they didn't. And now, because of that, Bournemouth is getting relegated. They're losing millions of dollars. And I do think that that injustice, I wonder how Premier League is going to make up for that injustice. And I'm not talking making up for it in Bournemouth. I'm talking about steps going forward. Because we literally lost a good, decent team, an exciting team to relegation because VAR could not be decisive and step in to correct the mistake. And that's just one of the mistakes that he has made. There's been so many other mistakes, from red cards to goals. It's just, it's trash. VAR is trash, and it needs to change.
I hope they
Absolutely.
do. You know, in these next 6 or so weeks, I'm sure they're going to review it because it's not just us three that are complaining about it. It's literally everyone.
Yeah.
So I think they will. I mean, I hope it will.
I mean, seriously, just go to any other league. You don't even have to it doesn't have to be all of them. It could be the Bundesliga, it could be Australian league, it could be any other league. And you know what? Copy and paste what they're doing. You don't have to change anything. Like seriously, you don't
Yeah.
have to change anything. It'll be already 100 times better. I just guaranteed.
Shit on the English, but I feel like English always has to be like, look, we can do it better than everyone else. And they don't.
Oh
I mean, Dude, I mean, one of my friends in our first episode, we brought up the Australian A League, and you know, one of the first comments I got from a friend about the podcast was, "I'm so glad you brought up VAR in the A League and how they use it, because it's just, you know, it doesn't take long. There's no messing around. They don't throw their arms up to the ref every 5 seconds. They get on with it." And you know, I agree. I think I'm glad you chose to trash talk VAR.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like we talked about. Like, it's so sad to see Bournemouth going down, and I mean, granted, they didn't do themselves any favors. They were also like hit by injuries, but it really, really hurts. I mean, we're talking about it. I can't imagine like a Bournemouth fan coming down here to talk about it because, like, imagine knowing that, you know, things could have gone differently if the technology that we have, the technology that's been put in place to correct things like this was not used. That's what hurts even more. If VAR wasn't there, then it's like, oh, okay, you know what? It didn't work, but there's nothing in place. But to know that it's there and it wasn't used, like that's like oh man.
And I will say that, you know, Bournemouth is not the only team that suffered from that single VAR mistake. You know, Sheffield United did too. They were fourth or fifth in contention for Champions League spot, and then they lost that point. They lost 2 points. They dropped 2 points and kind of like their momentum stalled, you know, and they're a solid team, but they ended up being ninth, you know, and I think for a technology that's supposed to be helping the game, it did a lot not to help the game.
Yeah.
Their reasoning behind it was they shouldn't have to review it because goal line technology should work. Well, yeah,
But it didn't.
It didn't. Yeah, that's like saying like, well, you know, players shouldn't try and break another player's leg. What? Like, you've got it. Why not just tell the ref, stop the game, they've scored.
Yeah.
End of, kick off, bang. Like, it's clear. I mean, it was like a good 2 foot over the line. Yeah. I could talk about VAR all day.
I can too. It's infuriating, but I do feel for Bournemouth. They were just done badly.
Steve-O, who's your trash talk?
You know what? That darn FFP, man. Financial fair play BS, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like, are you serious? Like, are you kidding me? Like, we've been talking about Man City and squad depth. The only reason why they have squad depth is because, like, they're being bankrolled by one of the richest people in the whole world. And it comes out that, oh, you know what? Yeah, they've been kind of breaking the rules. It's like, and then I was like, okay, it goes to review. I was like, oh, you know what? Yeah, they have been breaking the rules, but you know what? It happened so long ago, so they're gonna get away with it. It's like, are you absolutely kidding me? The only reason why Man City is good right now is because they're funded by oil. Like, if you go in the dressing room, it still smells like oil, dude. Like, that's how bad it is. And then, like, then they get caught, and then they're like, oh, you know what? Yeah, we got you, but you can get away with it and continue to like keep the titles and continue to build squad depth and continue to win the Premier League. Like, that's absolute BS. Like who else? Like, I feel like it takes away some of the integrity of the game, to because you're seriously like paying to win the league. Like, if you look at Liverpool, who won the league recently. I mean, granted, yeah, they bought players and everything, but they didn't just like go out there and like get bankrolled by something. They actually built the team up and built it up to where it is right now. If you look at us at Man United, it's the same thing. Like, I mean, granted, like, yeah, Man United is kind of like a business and also a soccer team if you look at it that way. But we weren't just like funded by some like oil sheik and then like we got good. It's like it's been building up success upon success, and that it just I think it leaves it a little bit of just sour taste in the mouth to know that they were actually cheating, and that there's no punishment for it. It's like, what's the point of you being there? Like, you're just taking away from the integrity of just the competition, and then it's like, because I want to see more teams like Leicester City winning the league. I want to see more teams like coming up just by sheer hard work and determination, not just by checks being written and players being brought in. Just like, because that's boring, man. It's like, what's the point of it being there if what's the point of financial fair play being there as a check to stop things like that happening if they're not going to do anything? And then Pep was like, even saying like, oh, he's owed an apology. It's like, dude, no one owes you an apology. Like, they said they got you. The only reason why nothing has happened is because of statute of limitations, which is dumb. Like, I
agree with you, man.
It's ridiculous, man.
I think it's unfair for the other teams. I think, the real injustice, as you said, is like if Wolves or Sheffield United got caught doing the exact same thing.
Oh man, they're done.
Yeah, they'd be punished for it because they can't afford the lawyers that City have got. So yeah, I agree with you, man. And like, I didn't even think to trash talk that, but now you brought it up. I'm like, absolutely. I've not met many Man City fans in my life that are actually like back to the old days fans. I've met a few of them, but most of them are just in the recent era. Like, oh, I like Man City because
they're all plastic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree. FFP is a joke, and as I mentioned, when the decision came, my biggest complaint about it is that the smaller teams suffered because of it. They literally cannot compete with these bigger teams. And one thing that needs to be done is to help these smaller teams be more competitive. And I think at a certain point, like, and I'm a Chelsea fan. Obviously, we have money, not as much as City, but we have money. And I think as you can saw, transfer ban has helped Chelsea significantly this year and has done great work. It's been blessing for us, and I think that it's absolutely unfair that City gets to play Champions League next year. Not even a one season ban, But I get it. I do think they're favored for this year's Champions League, and can you imagine the chaos that would ensue if they won Champions League this year, but they can't compete with it next year? Whoever wins it next year would be like, well, we didn't even beat the champion of previous year. So.
True.
But then it'll be like they shouldn't have been there in the first place, though. So.
I agree.
Yeah. My trash talk. I want to talk about Daniel Levy.
Oh, yes.
If he wants Spurs to be a top team, pull your thumb out your arsehole and go and buy some players. Like, honestly, our biggest rivals are buying these top elite players, and we're buying some 15-year-old from Wigan. We're buying Jack Clark from Leeds, who now can't even make the QPR bench. Like, come on. Like, we were this close to signing Dybala. Go for him again. Like, you already have the relationship. We're not going to win the league with Ben Davis at left back. We're not going to win the league with Serge Aurier at right back. Harry Winks cannot be a starter. I like Sissoko, but the boy has no talent on the ball. Like, he's just an absolute engine. Spend some money, and I might be a happy man next season. but stop thinking that you're a good businessman and club owner, because he's been made fool of by Chelsea and City and United and Liverpool, and even Aston Villa spent 100 million last season. I know it didn't do anything for him, but they're willing to spend.
Yeah.
Like, we bought Tanguy and Ndombele, who is a class player, but Mourinho don't like him. So it looks like he'll be out the door this summer. And yeah, we're back to square one. We have no creative midfielder that can link the back to the front and also has an engine that can get back and score goals. We don't have that. And
I'll add fuel to your fire. So even with your defenders too, right? So Vertonghen's leaving, and Alderweireld has been talking about leaving too. Mm-hmm. So that your what's his name, David Tanganga, like he's not
Tanganga and Sanchez.
No, so Tanganga, like he's a youth player coming up. Daniel, he doesn't even want to pay him, like give him increasing wages, so he might even leave Tottenham. So it's like you have a youth player that's been in your system for a while, who's like, I mean, he's definitely not a starter day in day out, but he's only going to get better, and you're not even giving him like a good contract. Like, what are you doing?
I don't know. And
do you think, Tom, that he even wants to win? Like, do you think it's more important for him to actually make money, like selling and buying players and improving them? And like, I'm asking this: do you think he wants Tottenham to be a winning club, or do you think he wants Tottenham to be a selling club? Kind of like Southampton.
No, I think that he does genuinely want us to win, because we have like amazing stadium, amazing training facility.
Brand new,
both of them brand new. But he will spend money on buildings, but not the players. And it's, I start with the players. Let's start by building a team. And he had that team in 2015-16 when we came second. We lost Kyle Walker downhill. Yep. Dele Alli loses form, and he's, we should have sold Dele Alli when he was worth 100 million. Now he's not worth 25 million. And like, yeah, he's been ravaged with injury again, but it's like, come on, man. Like, let's bring some exciting talent to Tottenham. Not bad mouthing our players that we have now. We have some class players, but if you don't have a team full of players and players that can make impact on the bench, we're going to struggle again. And this season has not been a good season. Like, from Champions League finalists to like fighting for Europa League.
And like, what do you think went wrong? Do you think it went wrong when Pochettino was fired, or do you think it started going wrong before that?
I don't know. I know Pochettino wanted to buy players, and Levy wouldn't let him. And I think them two fell out, and that's why Pochettino got fired. So I think, it went downhill from there. And, we didn't start the season brilliantly. So I don't know. I think Pochettino was building this team, and he brought in Ndombele, Sessegnon, all these young, exciting players, which were very much Pochettino's choice.
Yeah.
He gets fired, Mourinho comes in, and Mourinho doesn't like those players. So for a fan like me who's sitting there thinking, you've got Ndombele on the bench, who is amazing, but he just doesn't play like Mourinho wants him to play. But he's a game changer. So it's just frustrating. And, speaking of that, like, even if Dybala did come in, would he start? Would he play him on the bench? Like, Mourinho's driven away, like, Ndombele. I mean, I like Mourinho.
You know what's crazy to me, though, is that, so I think from an outsider's perspective, they definitely want the new stadium because more seats, so more tickets, so more revenue. And it's kind of like the same with Arsenal. They got bigger stadiums, more seats, more revenue. I think Arsenal and Tottenham are somewhat similar in the fact that they don't want to spend a lot of money. I start with Wenger, like we used always to make fun of him, like being a pedo or whatever, because he'd always bring in like these youth players, like these like teenagers. But like Wenger would actually like bring it. Like they never really spent a lot of money on their players, but Arsenal still competed though. Like Wenger was a good enough coach to actually make them play well, to like build a structure around them. like if that's what Levy wants to do, like not spend a lot of money, he needs to find a coach that can actually use youth properly. And Tottenham does not have that. Most definitely does not have that coach right now with Mourinho. Like if with Mourinho, you have to like go spend big and get big players, because like Mourinho's not gonna like go for really youth players. So like Arsenal, yeah, they didn't spend a lot of money, but they had a coach that was understood that and was able to like, you know what, this is like the situation that I'm in. I'm going to make the best out of it, and I will still win. I mean, granted, that kind of like went downhill later on, but you have to give respect to Wenger. Like, I mean, the players that he bought, like he wasn't buying like world class players when I was getting them. Like he was getting youth players and like but winning them. Like, but Levy's like honest, kind of weird. It's like buying some players that are like kind of good, but not like world class, but they're not like promising. And then I don't know. I don't get it. Like I agree with you though. It's like what's going on there, man.
Well, we've got a Tottenham All or Nothing Amazon documentary coming out in the next couple of months. So I'm pretty intrigued to see what the issue is, because I think it will be pretty clear watching the documentary, because, you know, Pochettino left, Mourinho came in, and yeah, we're just like a changed club from last year and the previous years, and I don't really know why. So I'm intrigued. So that's my trash talk for this week. Daniel Levy.
Daniel
Do
Levy, yeah.
something about yourself.
Yeah, he definitely deserves that. All right, there you have it from us three. Thanks for listening. Those are our thoughts on the final games of the season, just the end of the season, signings of players, and trash talk around. Let us know what you think about how the season's gone. I mean, did it go the way you wanted to go? We've got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's all It's Pronounced Football. Hit us up with some likes and subscribes and comment on what we've got, or just like let us know your thoughts. We'll definitely respond to you. But that's it from us. Have a great week.
So that, guys.